guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So we're going to go ahead and knock out that no item run for the final trump card mission here. Ended up turning into quite the journey. It was kind of surprising. I really felt pretty good. I mean, this is the team I was using for most of the attempts, right? Like, we started out with, like, 17 and Piccolo and stuff like that. And I you know, went to this, and I thought we had it right towards the end, but Omega kind of just pulled it out. And so then I just, you know, was like, all right, let's just get this done. And I had so many bad luck moments. I mean, number one that can be very difficult for Final Trump Card, without a doubt, is the start of this fight. Because you can't dodge Omega right here at the start, right? So, like, the 5th anniversary of Blue Fusions, they could get, you know, cut up right here if they would get targeted by a super attack from Omega. And it also, it's just that Final Trump Card doesn't really have a lot of great sort of, like, slot 1 characters. I mean, I suppose, you know, we could definitely rock, like, LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. You know, they have the guaranteed guard the first turn, but, I mean, you're probably going to take a lot of damage in the first couple of phases here. And so, you know, that kind of can lead to some issues. Now, again, a lot of the runs, the unsuccessful runs we had, most of them was just like, all right, the turn starts and we get, like, a terrible opening rotation, then we just, like, instantly die, right? Like, that was happening repeatedly. There's, in one of those videos, man, it's like, in, like, a 10-minute span, Super Vegito died, like, 3 times or something like that. Like, it was crazy. It was, like, back to back to back. It was, I think it was all, like, slot 3, too. Like, it was just nutty, right? But many of the runs, like, we just lost coin flips towards the end, right? Like, I actually, like, went back and watched, like some of these fights, because I was like, damn, like, have I fallen off? Am I done? Like, you know, am I year 20 LeBron here? Like, let me take a look. And honestly, like, I feel like I wasn't really making mistakes. Again, I was just losing coin flips at the end. A lot of, like, okay, like, I'll gear up toward defend slot 1 and then Omega Supers in slot 2 and stuff like that. It's possible. Now, a lot of the characters here, once they get going, are going to be pretty good defensively. The second phase is really going to be quite challenging. Because the second phase, of course, is STR. Omega is going to be STR in that phase. Now, we did get Carnival Goku in slot 7, too, which typically is just, like, a dreadful result. I mean, he's kind of like the one super strong, kind of like, turn 1, slot 1 character that the team does have. But we were still able to make it work. Yeah, this is crazy, because he was slot 7, and then he gets sealed right there. Remember that when Sin... I keep calling him Sin, but it is Omega. I'm just used to the other fight, right, where I would always call him Sin. But Omega here, he always will seal or stun at the start right here with his super attacks. So that's something to really sort of keep in mind, is that if we have stacking characters, they potentially could get caught. Now, I wanted to kind of do like a Piccolo Jr. and Turles thing, kind of going through this phase right here, but it just didn't really work out so well. Like, I would have liked to have kind of like assembled Piccolo Jr. and Turles, you know, maybe towards the end of it, or, you know, we'd get to this rotation and then we could pop like Piccolo Jr.'s giant form into his active skill turn, right, where he could do a lot of things. But I decided to, you know, do the standby right there, you know, play defensive in slot 1, which did end up being the right choice. Now, Piccolo Jr., he really has the capability to go absolutely nuts in this fight. I mean, we're literally seeing it right now. He can go so crazy in a major way. Between his active skill, the huge damage he could drop. I should mention as well, yeah, there's Turles getting cut up a little bit right there. I mean, it happens. In the first phase, Tech Omega can be debuffed. So we were debuffing him. You could put Piccolo Jr. in slot 1, and he does actually lower enemy attack. So it's like, that's a really strong aspect of Piccolo Jr. In this fight, is what he could do in that first phase. So we get to here, we're looking pretty good. We have no standbys available. That's the other thing, too, is that it's just, you'd think oftentimes that you're always going to be able to get, like, you know, standbys for some of these characters, but, I mean, it can be tricky, right? Like, the GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, they have to get hit. So, a lot of it really is kind of just like, you know, really out of your hands. When you have slot 2 characters that have to be hit, that's not ever really something that you can just sort of pick. By the way, Goku does dodge that super attack, which is very helpful. I absolutely love the dodge builds on some of these characters are so good for this fight, by the way. We take a lot of damage from the AoEs that it happens. Remember that Omega, he gets it. Yeah, so actually, oh, wow, look at this. This is a winning run only because AGL Carnival Goku dodged that super attack, huh? He would have taken enough damage. Remember, that's a Carnival Goku that had 0 stacks in because he started out in slot 7. Oh, that feels so good. Nice. The winning run because Carnival Goku has the full dodge build. We do love that. But the reason the full dodge build could be so good in this fight in particular is, remember, that first phase against Tech Omega, you can't dodge. So what happens is, you know, I've got like a lot of characters like Carnival Goku. He does need to get hit, but I've got him with a full dodge build anyway to dodge super attacks just like he just did. But it allows us to very easily take all the hits we have to in the first phase. We don't dodge, but then once we get to, you know, deeper into the fight where we really need to dodge, we are able to get those dodges in. So this works out pretty well in that we get to the last phase right here, and Piccolo Jr. gives us the transformation right now. So remember the way that the Piccolo Jr. giant transformation works is like all these other giant transformations that last for multiple turns. What we're going to get right here is Piccolo Jr. canceling Omega's boss abilities. So once we leave Piccolo Jr.'s giant form, Omega is not going to be able to super attack, and he's also not going to be able to tag us with these AoEs. Now remember, these AoEs are devastating. You really want to try and get a lot of physical characters on your team to counteract just how ludicrous these AoEs are, but that's where a lot of the difficulty of the fight comes in the second phase. That STR Omega can just really wreak havoc. Because the thing with STR Omega is his AoEs can really do quite a bit of damage if he super attacks first. A lot of RNG in how much you might struggle with STR Omega depending upon where his super attack is and where his AoEs are, right? Because he does give himself the, I believe it's a 50% attack buff. For the turn, STR Omega. It's actually, I would say this is a pretty well-designed fight. This is a nice fight. I don't mind, you know, them, basically the last 2 super difficult fights have been geared around the boss with AoE normals, which is fine. I would like that the next major difficult fight, whenever it is, you know, maybe they go for a different gimmick, but again, as I've said before, you know, Red Zone Cell Max and then 8th Anniversary Sin Shenron, I felt like they were kind of like noob stompers, like characters with big flaws, or older characters would just get destroyed, right? Like, originally, people didn't think that 8th Anniversary Sin was that hard, because it's like, if you go in there with the team of your best characters, Vegeta and Trunks and stuff like that, you're gonna be good to go. But, like, you know, you come into this fight, even with your best characters, I mean, this guy's numbers, they did gear it up, right? I mean, this guy is pretty much the same thing as 8th Anniversary Sin. It's just, he does more damage, and he has better type coverage, really. Right, like, you could load up on STR characters against 8th Anniversary Sin, and it didn't really feel as scary. I think it's because AGL Sin's AoE normals were not, like, super scary, whereas STR Omega's AoE normals are actually super scary. Now, we do have Physical Super Vegito here. Remember that Physical Super Vegito is actually really quite good. In that he will always be able to tank all these normal attacks. So Piccolo Jr. uses his giant transformation, so I know, okay, like, we could just go ahead and game on with Super Vegito right here, right? We don't have to worry about any super attacks, AoE normals, nothing like that. He can't do any of that. So Super Vegito will actually just be able to kind of sit here and get a bunch of counters in. Now this is where it really is very sad. Look at this. Look at the damage. Like, it's just pathetic. Like, this is kind of, like, unacceptable. The fact that he does nothing. He does, like, no damage to this guy. Like, remember, I think Omega has 75 million HP, I believe, is what Omega's got. And it's, like, 75 million HP, and look at this. Like, we're you know, Super Vegito does nothing. I still think he can be quite valuable in this fight, and 8th Anniversary Sin as well, because of the fact that he always will tank the normals, though. and normal tanking in this fight is not guaranteed. Okay, Piccolo Jr. with a crazy turn. Nice little triple super right there after the active and the giant transformation. He really did quite a bit of damage. Alright, so we get to this turn. We do actually have the GT Spirit Bomb. Now, I don't know what it is. Oh, dude, my luck. I mean, I feel like so often I'm just never able... Like one thing that was killing a lot of these runs is I think what happens right here. Like, I'm looking at this like, okay, cool. You know, we'll be able to get some attacks in, then we'll be able to drop the Spirit Bomb. But, no. Omega just supers right away. This kept happening. Like, it's like, you know, you could really get a huge advantage with some of these Spirit Bomb turns, where, like, you know, you're able to get, like, a bunch of super attacks, do a bunch of damage, and then you drop the Spirit Bomb. But it's like, though, like, I was just getting bad luck on bad luck. Omega was just killing us instantly before we had a chance to really kind of big anything up at all. So right here, I had many instances kind of go south with the Spirit Bomb. Like, this exact situation right here, across this sort of like final trump card mission, we've been in this exact situation like 4 times or something like that. But things would always then go wrong after the Spirit Bomb leaves Omega with, like, you know, 1 health bar left. But here we have so much HP that he can't kill us. Right, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta we have in slot 1, I mean, they've supered a lot, as we could see, so they are completely safe right there. So we did get the clear. This definitely is very tough, but I do really feel like this sort of, like, extended, I don't know, like, attempts that it took or whatever, was mostly just bad RNG in a lot of these runs, right? I think that this fight is pretty well designed. I think it is fun, and I'm actually pretty excited to take a lot of different characters in here. I'm curious how characters like Ginyu, Tech Pan, you know, Vegeta and Trunks. I guess we know how Vegeta and Trunks are going to do. But, like, a lot of the different major releases over 2022 and 2023, we're going to take in here. We're going to see how effective they are. Some of the killers we used in some of these videos already are going to get their own video as well. We're going to give their own video to Piccolo Jr., Turles, AGL Carnival Goku, these characters who really carried their weight. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.